we're so focused on what went wrong, never what went right. We only hear the bad things people say, and all the compliments are just forgotten. I dare you for this year, anytime someone tells you a compliment, something that like maybe you didn't hear before or just made you feel really good, write it in your notes. Write it in your notes with who said it and the date next to it. And then keep that notes in your phone, wherever it's easy for you to access. And then next year, take a look at all the good things people said about you. Don't write a bad thing, just write the good. Okay, let's hope this setup works. Happy New Year. It is January 1st, 2024. I am back on the YouTube grind. I have a bunch of videos that I want to upload, so I did want to be more intentional of like uploading them in a frequent basis, and just so it's consistent, I'm consistent, and that I'm not holding back. I feel like I film a lot and I hold back on uploading for some reason. And this year, I don't want to hold back the truth. I don't want to hold back what God is putting on my heart, for whether that's just for myself or for other people who can resonate. So this year, I do want to be more intentional, and I pray that for you too. Like, this is an intentional year for you. If you're like me and you feel like you've been stuck the past few years, like, I hear you. I understand your frustration. It's hard to get out of a cycle. It's hard to get out of the mentality that I'm so used to this living in a box kind of thing, where you feel like either you're so damaged, you feel so in the victim mentality that you don't see yourself succeeding. You don't see yourself becoming that version of yourself that God has appointed you to become. I remember I was in India, and I will talk about this. I was in India a few weeks ago. I went to bed one night just questioning everything. I had such a big vision for my life, going into ministry or just preaching, just sharing God to people, just becoming more of an influence for God. And then everything just went away when I was like, but I'm so stuck in my sin, so stuck in my negative mentality. I don't think I can be that version of Preeti that I truly desperately want to be. And then I think it was later that night, I put on a sermon to sleep, and it was Sarah Jake Roberts. It was on my recommended, and she basically said, like, someone is questioning whether they can be the version they want to be. Someone is questioning whether they can be what God has called them to be. I'll link that sermon here. God has literally, anytime I've had doubts, questions, or I've been lost or stuck or feeling like the enemy's out to get me, whatever sermon was on my recommended, literally word for word would say something about what I was feeling and would put down that negative mentality. So God is really good at, putting the word where I need to hear it. One can say it's the YouTube algorithm, but the fact that I'm feeling a certain kind of way internally about a specific situation, and then there is a sermon, there's a pastor, there's a preacher who helps me with that exact situation, with that exact negative mindset or mentality or problem or obstacle. That is truly God. I sometimes complain about not hearing from God, and I forget about those things. So one more thing I wanted to mention: write down all the good things that's happened to you last year. Before you start this year, write down all the good things. Forget about the bad. And I'm saying this just because we as human beings automatically take on the negative and expand it, put it on full blast, and then we live and sink into the negative mentality. This year, you are not going to focus on the negative from the past. There's nothing you can do for the negative things of the past. What you can do is hold on to the good that happened and live your life based on the good things that has happened to you. Live your life using, if we want to say the negative things in our past that hurt us, switch it. What did those things teach you? What did those things help you not do again? God never told us to sink in negative mindset. He never told us to, just linger in our trials, linger through the obstacles. No, we overcome and triumph, right? I was such a victim mentality person, and I'm still getting out of that. And that's something I do want to talk about, but not for this year. I don't want to be that anymore. I'm currently a student in a clinical mental health counseling program. I'm getting my master's, and learning all these different theories about counseling. A lot of them overlap with not staying stuck in the past, and that is how counselors help clients by looking at the victories, looking at the triumphs, looking at the good. Why are we so hyper focused on the bad? Like, we're so focused on what went wrong, never what went right. We only hear the bad things people say, and all the compliments are just forgotten. I dare you for this year, anytime someone tells you a compliment, something that like maybe you didn't hear before or just made you feel really good, write it in your notes. Write it in your notes with who said it and the date next to it. And then keep that notes in your phone, wherever it's easy for you to access. And then next year, take a look at all the good things people said about you. Don't write a bad thing, just write the good. My sister recommended that. She showed me her list, and it was really empowering to see that, and beautiful. Sometimes we can't even compliment ourselves. Like, that's why when people compliment us, like if someone compliments you and if you recoil, you don't have enough self-love and respect for yourself. That, and I'm saying that for myself. I recoil. Anyways, yeah, that's my challenge for you this year, to write a list of all the good things people say to you, and that includes you. If you looked in the mirror one day, you're like, damn, I'm fine, write that down. Because sometimes you may forget that, like, there was many moments where you felt you were beautiful to yourself, and you need to see that. You need to remember that you think you're beautiful or handsome, attractive, hardworking, persistent, dedicated. Don't forget the things you say to yourself. Good things. I'm saying good things, not to be a positive Polly, but it's just, we're so primed to think of the negatives. Don't even try to make a list of the negatives. It's so easy to just fall into that trap. Focus on the good things, qualities that people have said about you. Write it down. All right, so the next video, hopefully, I'm probably going to like date the videos. The videos I'm posting are going to be from last year and the year before that I've never posted, but lessons that I think are valuable, things that I felt like God shared with me in that moment, and I don't want to re-film them because it was natural and it was what God put on my heart in that moment. So I'm going to look different in those videos, but I did want to share them just because, I want this next year to be truly about honesty, vulnerability, and integrity. I want to be integrous, just full of integrity. All right, okay, happy start of the new year, and have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening. Bye.